All right, we're coming at you today with a pretty simple video. We're going to be sharing our favorite books of 2025. So this is our favorite book, the one we liked the most of all of last year. I read quite a few books. Katie read a lot of books. So these are number one picks.
Yep.
So stay tuned. They're going to be good ones.
Yep. All right.
Add them to your TBR if you haven't read them. That is a must.
If you are new to us, then yes, this will be completely brand new information. If you've been following us for a while, you won't be surprised, but you can hear even more about these wonderful books that we picked. But mine is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. She is an incredible author. She has become an auto-buy author for me, 100%. So there's only a couple of her books that I've not read yet, but I've read like all of her newer books. I think the ones that have published from like 2017 to today or something like that. But yeah, this one came out last summer. I did a combination actually of the physical book and the audiobook. So that was a really fun way to read it. I do that sometimes with books where I'll kind of go back and forth. Like if, life calls and I need to do other things besides just sit down with my book. And it was a really, really good listen. So if you're a big audiobook reader, definitely try this one on audio, but also an excellent book physically. This happens to be a signed copy, by the way, if you were seeing that. So I'll show you this. But she writes all of her, like I said, newer books, I think from like 2017 on. She writes historical fiction is what I think they categorize her as, but also love stories. So this one does say it is a love story, but it has like space elements to it. So you get some adventure included in it. So like her older books are romance. And then, like I said, these are historical fiction, but then have like some romance sprinkled in. But yeah, this one is, I would say, mostly a love story. But it's a love story with our main character Joan and somebody else on her team, who happens to be a woman. So this is a queer romance, but also it's a love story between her and her niece. I was just very touched by that. It really pulled at my heartstrings throughout the book. Her relationship with her niece was probably my favorite aspect of the book. It was just so well written. All of her characters are just so well written. This wasn't a thriller, obviously, by any means. I think a lot of people were maybe thinking it was going to be more action-packed, which I do think it had plenty of action, and it still, helps if you have that bug for space and for all of that. So I feel like it had a lot in it, but like I said, I think at the heart of it, it is a love story. But I still felt like the pacing was perfect, even though it wasn't this like edge of your seat thriller. And I think it just is the testament to how she writes. Like she's just such an incredible writer, that you feel like you are there, you feel like these people are part of your own life. I loved the setting of this. It takes place in the 80s. So I felt like I was just like almost like hearing 80s music, throughout. I know I put, and I can't remember the song that I put with my like official review of it on Instagram, but they actually talk about the song specifically. It's David Bowie in this book. So they do talk about him and the particular song. I just got fully immersed in this. Like I said, I really loved going back and forth between the audio and the physical book. I'm going to listen to it on audio again soon.
You are.
So I'm already going to do like a reread. I think I'll just do it completely on audio instead of switching back and forth. But yeah, I would absolutely pick this one up. She just does no wrong in my book. She did an amazing amount of research for this book too. So she really knew what she was talking about. It says an epic new novel set against the backdrop of the 1980s space shuttle program about the extraordinary lengths we go to live and love beyond our limits. I cried. It was so good. So good. And it has quite the ending. It has quite the epic ending. So I won't obviously give anything away. And this cover is just absolutely stunning. I love it. You can like see the reflection of the space shuttle in her sunglasses. Love it so much.
Yeah, so read that one if you haven't read it before.
Corey needs to read it this year.
I know.
Because I have talked it up so much.
All right, up for me is this book here, Aftertaste by Daria Lavelle. So this is a book that I actually read early last year, probably like April or May. And while I was reading it, I already knew that this was going to be a contender and possibly my favorite book of the year because I loved it so much. Just incredibly original story. Something you've probably never read before. Just really well written, really liked it. This happens to be signed too by Daria, too, in the nameplate here. So we got 2 signed copies here. But this is a book, especially if you're a foodie. It takes place in New York. The culinary scene there obviously is very vast. And it follows this character, Constantine. And he's got this very unique ability. He can sense ghosts. But crazy part is he has these aftertastes in his mouth. And if he can create the aftertaste, he can actually bring the ghost back to life. And he kind of discovers it in an odd way. And at first he doesn't know what to do with this ability. But he ends up using it for good and bad. But very, very unique. If you like food or culinary, this is a book you must read, but you don't need to. I really enjoy that, so I liked it that much more. But man, this book, when I was reading it, I was so engrossed in the story. I don't think there's a book I've read thus far that I've been this engrossed in while I was reading it. Like, I felt like I was a part of the story. I was a part of the book. It was so well written. It isn't a thriller. You could say maybe a little bit of horror, just with the ghost element. But it is a love story. It talks about grief. It talks about loss. There's just a lot going on. It covers a lot of different genres. What if you could have one last meal with someone you lost? So I gotta say, if you have not read this book, if you've not even heard of this book, I think it's a must read for anyone.
I read it as well. Yeah. So
Katie,
I did a combo again of physical and audio on that one.
Katie liked it as well. It's just incredible. I've talked a lot about it. If you've followed us for a while, I've probably bored you with how much I've talked about it. But I'm trying to get you to read this book.
You gotta read it.
It is a must, and this Daria is an incredible human being, really, really sweet human. She wrote an incredible book. I gotta say, if you want something different this year, pick it up, read it. I think you're gonna love it. The people who have read it from our recommendation have said nothing but great things as well. So I want you to be the next one to read it and let me know what you think. If you hate it, sorry, but I have a feeling that's not going to happen. So those are our favorite books of this year. Why don't you comment below, share with us what your favorite book of last year was. Maybe it was one of these books, but let us know what your favorite book of last year was, and we will come back and talk more about books soon.
Yes.